Greetings, Pilgrims. Welcome to another episode of the Polygon Pilgrimage, and today we are continuing with our Battle Pass series here. So today we've got a whole bunch of stuff to cover, so let me quickly tell you up front what we're going to do. We're going to go over the overall flow, what we got going on here. I'm going to show you where we're at. Then we're going to talk about how you guys can start building your tiers while I work on finishing this, because it's quite complicated. I'm going to show you how to make some really snazzy custom icons. I'm going to show you what we've got left to do. We're going to have an open call at the end where I'll talk about what I need and if you guys can help me. And then I have a couple of announcements to make, okay? So let's jump right in and I'm going to show you what we got so far. So as we left off last time, you see all of our prettiness here, right? Well, now it does stuff. So let me show you here. I'm just going to hit play. Let's just see what happens, okay? Boom, we got stuff showing up. Now, yes, these are not real icons. I'm just using my templates here and then filling in with the images I have available. I'm not going to go off and make 100 different custom icons and things, because that's not really useful of my time. But I wanted to show you guys what's possible, and let's talk about how it works, okay? So the whole thing is wrapped up in one big game object here, and there's a whole bunch of stuff here that is scratch work. You can see some variables here, and I just kind of left it open to show you guys, open and honestly, here's where I'm at. No, it's not finished yet. But what I wanted to do was show you where we're at, and I'll show you how you can be making these icons and designing your tiers while I work on finishing the rest of it. Then I'll give you guys just an updated set of scripts and stuff, and then boom, you're all set. So you can be working on your Battle Pass stuff in the meantime, okay? So let's jump over to Photoshop for a second. I'm going to show you this snazzy little diagram here to talk about how the whole thing works. Now, there's a little bit backwards left and right because in the inspector is on the right for my layout for Unity, so bear with me on that. But we have basically 5 different sections here. So we have the Battle Pass Manager, and what that is it's the main object, which we tell it a couple of bits of information. We tell it whether or not that first tier is going to be a double or not. We tell it how many different tiers we want to have, and then each of these boxes is going to get filled in with a tier. So this column is a reward tier. So this is everything in that vertical slice. So we have our standard pass reward up top, whether or not you have one. And then down here we have our battle pass reward, 1 or 2 rewards here. So these are all rewards, which are this box, and this box get filled in by this stuff. I'll show you the little flow diagram I made here. This is just a lot easier. So all of this gets kind of capsuled up into a little box and goes here, here, and here. All of this gets capsuled up into a little box and goes here, 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 ad infinitum, however many you have. And then we'll talk about this in a second. But so the rewards here, we have a drop down to determine whether or not it's a minor or a major reward. We have a couple of bits of information here. Our image, our background, and then we have a slot for eventually the system will have potentially a preview object here. So this will be a game object. It's a collection of things. It can be the models with an animation and stuff, and you can plug in what shows up on the right when you have it selected, okay? So all of this gets encapsulated into these, all of these gets encapsulated into these, and then this whole system goes through and fills out a bunch of templates and then tells the pages how to display those templates, all right? So now that we kind of understand roughly how it's all working, and I'll include this diagram for you, let's go to Unity here and we'll see how it's actually working. So when I select the upper Battle Pass object, this is what you get. And so you can see here I have my reward tiers, and I have all these. So from here, num tiers all the way down to here, all of this will go away. You won't see any of this, okay? There might be a few things like the canvas you might have to fill in, by dragging and dropping to connect things, but this is still work in progress. What you will see mostly is, first up is tier 1 a double. So as you know with Fortnite, and sometimes it'll be tier 1 is like this double wide like we talked about with the graphics last time. So if that's true, we're going to check this box. For now, we're not dealing with that. We're going to do the simplest, which is just every tier is exactly the same size, and then I'll work on that later. Then you have this where you'll be able to put in a number here, and it is, I think it's 1 index, so I technically have 9, so this gives me the 8 across here. So you might have to play with that number just a little bit, but that will give you these. So it'll have element 1, 0, whatever, and these will be blank at first. And in here is where you're going to put your tiers. So if you have 100 tiers, you're going to put, I think, 101 in this slot, and then you'll have 100. And I'll show you here. It goes crazy deep. So see, it'll go all the way down. So you'll have to go see all the way down to element 100. You'll have to fill something in there, okay? For my example purposes and what I recommend you do is keep it on 9 for right now. it'll give you a full page to look at. And what you can do for now is design your tiers as far as your icons, get all that stuff working together. I'll show you how we're going to build all that here in a second. And then fill them in here, and then you can do one page at a time. You can kind of see it. And that way you can have some time to develop these things while I'm working on the rest of the code. Okay? So let's take a look at what we have in our battle pass here. So we have a couple of things. I'll include the scene file and all these folders, and I'll have a folder structure to show you that this is how it should work, okay? So down here we'll have the folder structure to show you how this is working. Inside the zip file, I'll lay it out exactly the same, okay? So let's talk about how we start creating our objects here. First up, you're going to have a whole bunch of scripts. So if you go into the scripts folder, we have a whole bunch of scripts here. Briefly, I'm going to run through them real fast and show you what they are. Some of these are just little things, like this is just an enum, so we can have the choice between minor and major, okay? This is the script to instantiate our reward tiers. This is the script for the template manager, so we'll talk about that. This is the script for the reward manager itself. For the reward combo, I don't think we actually use this, so you can kind of ignore that one. Reward tier, this is to instantiate that, yep. Battle Pass reward, this is the things we can right click and create them. You'll see that in a second. Custom Inspector, we need that as well. And then we have our Battle Pass Manager, which is the overarching thing. You will notice also that inside my Battle Pass folder, I have an editor folder, and you do need to put this one script here, the reward tier editor, because we created a special type of editor. You won't have to know what all this means. I had to actually learn a whole bunch of new stuff, and I'll show you what I learned, and it's really cool. Like it won't allow you to put things that are not tiers in here, so that's pretty cool. And the tiers themselves have some error checking built in for you. So let's go big to small and let's see how do we create a tier. So we go to my tiers folder. You'll notice first of all they have a really cool icon to them, right? And this is what they look like. So when you click on one, it shows you up here that there's a standard reward, an upper battle reward, and a lower battle reward. So down here, if you have a upper, it'll be whatever shows up here, and that can be a major or a minor. And then if you have a secondary one, then it'll appear here. And you'll notice that the error checking is built into these. So I can only have a minor and a major, or a major and a minor, or two minors. But it will never let me have two majors. And if I try, it will actually block me out. And so we'll see that in a little bit, okay? But to get these custom icons for anything that you create, let me show you the secret. So you have to go to your root assets folder. Create a folder called Gizmos. Capital Gizmos. And what you're going to do is you're going to just drop a PNG file here that the name of it has to be very specific. It's the exact name of your code, space, the word icon, capital I. And if you leave it in this Gizmos folder, then now when I go back to my tiers here, and let's create a new one. So I'm going to right click, create. I made this new Battle Royale, and you can create a reward or a tier. I'll make a new tier, and look at that, it's got the icon. So we're going to call this demo tier, okay? And demo tier has standard reward and upper battle reward. You'll notice there's no lower battle reward yet. That's part of the error checking we have built in. So for the standard reward, I just click, and it's going to show me all the rewards that I have in my project here, right? So I'm going to say, let's do battle pass reward. There we go. That fills it in. So upper battle reward, what do I want for that? Well, I'm going to say it's going to be a new weapon. Now you notice that as soon as I select that, boom, lower battle reward shows up. Very cool. Now, I'm going to lock the inspector here so that we can click away and this stays, because I want to show you what happens. If I go to my rewards and I try to choose, here's a major, let's try to put another major in here. It won't let me. It just doesn't work, right? Now if I put a minor in here, it'll swap it out. Now if I put a major down here, it'll say, that's cool, no problem. If I put another minor down here, it says that works too. But if I put a major here, and now if I try to replace this minor with a major, it's going to clear it out and say, nope, you can't do this. If you have an upper major, the lower must be a minor. So it has some of that error checking, dummy case for you built right into it, which is awesome, okay? So that's how we create tiers. All you have to do is go into your tiers folder. If you have everything set up the way it is in the folder structure, you just copy, move everything over, bring it in. You just right click, create. You should see this Battle Royale, and then say new reward or new tier. And you say new tier, and these show up. Pretty cool. So I chose the little gold icon thing here just because I thought it was snazzy. It looks pretty cool. So now let's go talk about rewards. So we go to rewards. This is the icon I chose for them. And you'll see that we've got a default one, and then we got these different ones here. So let's make a demo one, okay? So create Battle Royale, new reward, call it demo reward. There we go. Now, all you have to do is tell it, what kind of reward is this, minor or major? So we're gonna make it a major reward. And what I recommend is, you see here, I started to do it here to show you, start off with the word major or minor and an underscore. So that's what this one is. And then this one is just underscore. So you can just dupe this. Dupe is, duplicate, and then just replace the two with, whatever you want to call it, like new, new currency or whatever. Currency, there you go. So demo reward is not really a good name, because I recommend you call it the name of what it is, because there's no other way to tell, right? So with this drop down, you can select what it is, but that way you don't get so confused, If it happens to be a currency type thing, we're going to do this later. So this doesn't do anything right now, but you'll be able to put in the amount. So say it's worth 100 V-Bucks or whatever, right? Then the reward icon visuals. So you just tell it, what is your background icon going to be? So I'm going to do reward, and then it comes up here. So since it's a major, I'm going to choose this one. And then my reward icon, I just pick whatever I want. So reward, and I'm just going to pick this guy just because. So there you go. Now, eventually, also, this doesn't work yet, again, but the reward visuals will be, we're going to zoom out, and over here on the right, when you click on something, over here on the right, it will show you a preview of what that thing is, right? Well, that's going to be a whole encapsulated prefab, and that will go in here eventually as well. For now, leave it blank. So now that our rewards are all set, when we go and set up our tiers, those are the things that you drag and drop right into here. You see how one is an encapsulation of the other, of the previous. We just worked our way through it. Very cool. Okay, so with those two things set, we have the tiers and we have the rewards. So those are all set. You just put all your scripts in the right place here. The prefabs, there's only two prefabs. There's the overall battle pass itself, and then the other is this reward template. And all this is really is just a blank image that is the correct size to be either a major or a minor. And then it has some logic here set up. And all you gotta do is drag it into the system here. You may have to set this up. I'm not sure how the asset packs work just quite yet, but drag it in, and then you should see here this major and minor. You're just gonna drag and connect those. So make sure that minor is in the minor slot and major is in the major slot. And then the rest of it should be fine. If you have trouble, it might be because it's having trouble finding these, but I'll double check the code. It should be automatically looking it up. If not, please let me know and we will fix it, okay? And then the locked state icon, we're just going to change the icon eventually for that, but that's not finished quite yet, but we'll get there. And the preview as well. So what this is we've already set up. You notice you're like, well, wait a minute, I've already done this, right? We've already set up the background and the icon, and I already set up the reward preview. Why do I have to do it twice? Well, think of this as like a cookie cutter. This is a blank slate, and it just has slots for these things to go in. So when you spawn this into the world, it's going to reach into the reward. It's going to go here in the system. It's going to go, where's your reward? Where's your reward? Okay, what is this? Okay, let me get a copy of that. Now let me come over here and I'm going to fill in these images. You see how these are just images? So it's going to fill them in based upon what you kind of preset. So this is writing down your order, and then this is actually like having the order in front of you. You know what I mean? So that's what this template does. And so we spawn these templates. And I'll show you. If we delete this, and let's just hit play real fast, it's going to fill them in. And now if I go under the battle pass, this reward area mask is the mask that covers this whole area. If I open that up, you'll notice we have two panels right now. There's panel A and panel B. We'll talk about that in a second. We're not quite there yet. But under panel A content, there's tiers 1 through 8. And these are just the visuals of this background stuff here. And you'll notice here's the reward template clones. So each of these are all of these icons. So if I drag these around, see, that's that guy there. So if we open up one of these, we see that major or minor, and you'll notice that this one is a minor clone. I can tell that because I move this around. See, it's that guy right there. He's a minor because the major has been disabled. The minor is the one that is enabled. And if I go into his background and icon, it's filled in what I told it to fill in. Very cool. So that's all it's doing, is it's cloning these at the precise locations that they need to be based upon some math and based upon the layout that we have for the screen. So it's going to fill these in here under these panels, okay? So now let's talk about the panels. So if we go back to our diagram here, these panels are these 3 pages we have here, And it's really only 2 pages, and they have to move around a bunch. So the first page is the active page, the one that we're seeing. I think we call that current page in the code currently. Oh, live panel and our scrap panel. So our live panel is the one that we're seeing right now. So whatever page of the reward tiers we're on, so if you have 100 tiers, I think it's like 13 pages. So page 1 is what we're seeing right here, 1 through 8. That current page is our live panel, because it is a panel object inside of the UI and it slides back and forth, which is why the contents are underneath of it so that they'll move with it, okay? So now, since we have our live panel is the one we're seeing, our scrap panel is going to be the other panel, and it's going to be like moved out to the side here, like off screen. So if I turn this on, you'll see there it is right there at the very end. And what we're going to do is, based upon which arrow you click, we're going to have to tell the scrap panel, hey, you need to move here or here, fill yourself with content, and then play an animation to slide you in or slide you in this way. Then the live panel has to slide out of view, dump its contents, and become the scrap panel. So they're going to be kind of doing this little dance back and forth with each other, because it's too much to like spawn one, move it, then delete it. That's too costly. We could do a very simple object pool, but it's a lot simpler if we just have live and scrap and then they swap roles. And you'll notice I have slide direction. We pass the word left or the word right now, back and forth. We have this button, I called it ugly button. It's just a button that you press that will actually cause the slide. It doesn't work right now, so don't bother with it. But I'm going to reset this to 0. So panel B currently is going to be disabled. So we're going to keep that disabled. So don't worry about panel B. Panel A is enabled. Panel A content, and that's where the content appears. So that's where we're going with this, is we're going to the point where it will do the sliding back and forth, and we're going to be doing this juggling. So bear with me, because that is very complicated, and I had to learn all about how to make a custom setup here so it would only select certain things, and it's been a nightmare to learn all of this. It's been a lot of fun, because learning anything new is awesome. But it's been just, pulling my hair out. But I wanted to give you guys something for right now, because at least what you can do is you can be designing your tier, designing your icons and everything, and you can be working in the background, and you just hit play, you fill in 9 of them, hit play, you'll see this and go, okay, I see how they're all laid out, I like that or I don't like that, let me make some changes. You guys can be doing that while I finish up the rest of the logic, and then we'll wrap it all up together, okay? So I hope you guys have enjoyed this very much. A few quick announcements to make. It's been long requested, but yes, I'm getting back into live streaming. So we're going to have a live stream project that is not Battle Royale, that is not the normal pilgrimage. It's just, for me, it's just fun. Come hang out. I might learn some stuff for the pilgrimage. You might get some behind the scenes, I'm just saying. So come stop by, check it out. There'll be announcements about that. I have potentially a joint project coming up with a friend of mine, and I have a old project that's coming back. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But we will be finishing up the Battle Royale series with the end of this here with the Battle Pass, and I think I still owe you guys a jump out of plane. And after that, we're going to be done with it for now. We do have some assets coming out. Rich and I have been working very hard on those, and those are coming soon, just as soon as we can get them. As per usual, life has gotten complicated, and it's taking a while. But I wanted to let you guys know that we're working hard. There's lots of stuff in the oven, and very soon here you're going to be inundated with content. And I really appreciate you guys sticking with me and all the growth that has happened. It really means a lot to me. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please look forward to this and download it, take it apart. Tell me what's happening. And if you guys know a better way to do this, like bouncing back and forth between panels, feel free to rip it apart. I left it open like this so you guys can see it. You can rip it apart, you can learn from it, and then tell me if you have an idea for how to do it better, because then I'll make it better, I'll provide it to the community, and everybody wins. So let's work together to make it awesome, and we'll move forward and do some incredible things. So thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, keep practicing, get better, and I'll see you next time as the pilgrimage continues.